Well, hello, welcome back for more electronic ignition fun. Last time you saw me drilling a hole in the back plate, which was quite tense. I had to use 2 drill bits for that. 2 drill bits, I mean, not 2 drill butts, that doesn't make sense. And I put way too much HA6 gunge on it, as is traditional, of course. Now the good thing about this HA6 kind of silicon sealant stuff is that if you don't like it and done it, you can sort of peel it off in a big lump. So it looks a bit skanky, but come on, it's going to be behind a flywheel. The important thing is it keeps the rain and the mice out. I think I mentioned mice in every episode. There's some sort of mouse thing going on. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is turn the camera around, and we're going to wire up the atom itself to the wire that I put in the casing that's coming out, to clip that a bit shorter, and then try and work out how we can get the atom itself attached and grounded to the bike. Once that's on, it's flywheel time. Oh yeah. Right, so here we go. I'll turn you around and then we'll get working. Okay, so I suppose this could be called honest home mechanicking, because I haven't tested anything first, then put it back together again to see if it works, to make myself all look really slick and proper. This is basically, you know, it's what it's like when you or I do it. Okay, so if you remember last time we stopped here. This is kind of, it's not totally dry yet, but it's going that way. Actually, it's pretty good. It's pretty dry now. It's very good, this HA6. You can use it for everything, literally everything. All right, so that is far too long. So here's the thing that my what's it came in. The atom that came from a brilliant man called Ted at Picker's Yard in the Philippines. So if you just go onto the interweb and put Picker's Yard Ted, you'll find him, and he sells these things and then sends them out. Alright, so here's the atom. Now it very clearly says in the instructions that you've got to make sure that the word bit, the bit where it says atom, okay, is on the side of the backing plate. Now I've cheated a bit here. You know, I said I hadn't done anything before. Well, I was just fiddling around when I first got this, and there's a self-tapping screw here which cuts a thread into one of these little holes, and I kind of tapped it into 2 of them, and to be honest, there's only one way I think it's going to go, and I think that's going to be in that top hole, exposing that big hole, because the only way I can see to mount this is either here on the spokes. Oh, wait a minute. No, can you see the problem there? Or on the tyre. Oh no, that also moves, and it hasn't got a ground. It's got to be somewhere that doesn't move, that's got a nut and bolt already on it. I could drill something in here, but I don't want to be drilling that. Or there, or there. It's basically that. See that little thing? That holds, I'll just tilt you down a bit. That holds a mudguard stay. There's actually a spring inside there as well. A spring that pulls the engine down to the wheel. So I'll get you settled there. Alright, so tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to wire this bit up first. I'm going to attach the atom first. Alright, so I haven't got this ready, but I reckon, having, you know, to be honest, fiddled with this bike a bit before, looking at it, I reckon that's a 9. Alright, so that's a 9, but I also know from having taken this bike apart before, there's a nut inside there that won't... It'll move, that's what I'm trying to say. It'll move when you undo this one. So can you see I've put the ring end, you can't see that, can you? Put the ring end of the spanner inside here for the nut that holds that. I should lower you down a bit actually. There we go. Alright. Okay. Here's a good little tip as well. When you're using ratchet spanners, you know, upside down, inside out, whatever, before you put it on the nut, pretend you're tightening up a nut right in front of you and see if it goes the way you want it to. So that's doing up, isn't it? You see that? That's clearly doing a nut up. So I'm going to turn that. Let's try that. that is clearly undoing a nut. So if I were working upside down and inside out, sometimes you have to think, oh, hang on a minute, backwards, whatever. Maybe it's just me. Alright, so I'm going to put that on there, hold that spanner in place. Oh, actually that wasn't too bad. I reckon that would have come off without this backing spanner. Yeah, so let's get that off. So that's not ratcheting anymore, that means it's probably loose. So I can take this off, maybe use my fingers. So I'm using gloves here. I'm using those for an actual serious reason. Two things. One, I don't want to get horrible skunky hands, because you end up having to wash your hands all the time. You know when you're working on a bike or a car and you often have to sort of jump up and go and do something else or answer an email or something, and if you've got dirty hands you've got to wash your hands, so you end up washing your hands 10 times a day, which isn't good for those delicate fingers. Second thing is, there are lots of sharp bits and bobs around here, and you know what it's like when you cut yourself. You know, I mean, you know, we're all rock hard, aren't we? And we don't feel the pain, but it's just annoying. You've just got this cut. So you know what? Don't cut yourself. Wear gloves. Wear gloves, kids. Alright, so let's have a look. That, can you see that? That's going to go, let me just reposition myself. That's got to go in there. But is that going to ground? I mean, I could just kind of like attach this straight into there, but it's not going to, you see what I mean? If I put it straight through there, put this bolt through there, but it's too big. It's too big. So it's got to go on this backing plate, and the backing plate's got to be this way round because I've got to have that big hole there, and I've got to, oh dear, and now of course that bit of extra bolt sticks out at the back. Anyway, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean that up with a bit of sandpaper. I was going to bolt that on there. Right, it's going to end up being a bit weird because that's stuck out the back there. Oh, I don't know, should I saw that off first? I don't want to saw it off first in case I need to, you know, cut a thread in this. So this is a special thread cutting bolt. Oh, I don't know. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to try and put it on and see if it starts looking like it's stressing anything. If it looks like it's really stressing it. I mean, you know, I think to be honest, I can get away with just putting it on there. So I am sandpapering this rusty bit of metal. Wow, that is rusty. That is well rusty. You see how I'm holding the wheel still with a bit of bungee cord with a good little tip that. If you're wheeling bikes around and you haven't got the space to walk next to them, you have to push them from behind. It's a good idea to put a bungee cord on. It stops the handlebars from flapping around. It's a good security device as well because people are really confused by bungees. For they are long and short at the same time. Alright, look, I don't want to get overexcited. Sanding. I know you love sanding videos on YouTube. You know, there are some very good mechanicking videos on YouTube. One of my favourite ones is a thing called Dangar Marine, spelled D-A-N-G-A-R. It's this really cool Australian fixing a steel trawler boat. That's great. I like that. I do like watching a thing called My Mechanics, where this bloke restores tools perfectly, completely perfectly. Anyway, I'll stop plugging other people's channels. Perhaps it's in the vain hope they'll plug mine. Alright, so can you see what's going to happen now? That's going to go onto there. Great. Let's do it. Let's check that. That's cleaned up a bit in there. I think this atom is either going to work or not. I don't think it's going to be a halfway house. So I'm doing a kind of a test fitting now, really. I could make this look neater. Okay, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't think this is a hugely structural thing, this. It's not like a, you know, a fork leg or anything. So I reckon I might edit out a bit of this fiddling around. What I'm doing here is, I'll just go to the other side of the camera. Oh yeah, that'll have to be edited out. What I'm doing here is trying to get that on the other side of this. This is a bit shortened now. That's the problem, because the atom is stuck out slightly. So yeah, that's going on. So I'm using my 2 fingers like that. You're allowed to do that. I've checked, and the Mechanics Union, you're allowed to use your fingers when it suits you. Okay, but spanners allow you to add a bit of torque to that situation, so let's do that. Wouldn't be great if everything on bikes were just finger tight. So that's going well. I don't even know what that's on. Oh, sorry, are you still, yeah. Right, I think that's on. Turn that round. So the backing plate's sort of bending. Could that damage the atom? Could it? That's going to push up on that thing in there. No, it's going to push. It's fine. So I'm not doing that too tight. Here's a good little tip. If you find yourself pulling a funny face when you're tightening something up, you're about to break it. Okay, so, well, you know, look at that job. It's a bit poor, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, do you know what? I'll just leave it like that for the moment. It doesn't look very pretty because it's kind of stuck outwards and whatever. But I just want to see if it works first, and then I'll make it look nicer. Let's tighten this up a bit in here, shall we? Now this is self-tapped into that backing plate. I do not want to over-tighten that. Alright, there we go. Look, the atom is on. I'll just move you about a bit so you can see. Can you see that bolt stuck out the back there? Now that's pretty honking, isn't it? Alright, well this is just a temporary situation, as they say in Dangar that's just going to have to do for the moment. I will make that look neater. Cut the back of that nut off, that bolt off. Okay, well I've faded my live voice down there, and this is me talking in a microphone, doing a voiceover of myself. I'm going to cut the video off here. There's nothing exciting happening, it's just me wittering on and on about what to do with the wires, whether to put it here, whether to put it there. It's incredibly tedious. I actually bored myself doing this. So that's it for today's video. What I think we'll do is leave it there, and I'll do the next video. I think it's episode 5, which is me wiring those 2 wires together, literally that, and then possibly some other stuff to do with the flywheel. I don't know. I can't remember. I haven't looked at the footage for a day or 2. My mind's gone blank. So thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with it. And that's it. See you next time. Bye-bye.